I've actually had this in my hands for a little over a month, and I just have not had the chance to take a look at it yet. So we're doing that now. Hi, everybody. Today I am taking a look at the new Good Morning, Good Life planner. Now, when this book came out by Amy Landino back at the beginning of the year, back when we all thought we were, or was it the end of beginning of December last year, whatever, back when we all thought 2020 was going to be the most amazing year ever, she came out with her book, Good Morning, Good Life, and her Good Morning, Good Life planner. We read the book for my book club, and I decided to look at the planner for the channel. I thought that it was a really interesting, specific kind of planner, but I was not a fan of the book binding, the weirdly matte cover, published through Amazon, and it has that Amazon kind of cover. There was other parts of the planner that interested me, especially as a specific thing to go for your morning routines or whatever. And so when she said she was coming out with one that was a little fancier, I was like, okay, I want to check this out. So this is the Good Morning, Good Life planner, the updated version. Now, a quick comparison to the two, size-wise. I don't have the measurements on the little guy, but the little guy is a book size. So the little guy's 5 inches by 7 inches of some sort. 5 inches by 8 inches. I don't know. Something like that. It's the size of the book. This guy, on the other hand, the pages are 8 inches by 10 inches. Now, the cover, I think, is a little bit bigger than that, but suffice it to say, it's a larger planner. You can see the difference here. The other big difference here is that this is a coil-bound planner with a hardcover versus a book-bound planner. It has the wire O binding, which everybody knows I really hate. I do not like this binding. It's a pretty kind of copper color, kind of golden copper to go with the colors on it. The covers are hard, chipboard with grommets on the sides, and then there is the gold embossed title of the planner on the front. I don't know how well you can see, but there's pale white doodles of flowers and shit in the background. It's a very light pink. It's a very Instagram friendly planner. And then the bottom, it says September 2020 through December 2021. I believe you can still get dated versions of it on her website, but future versions of this will be undated. For now, this is a 16-month planner that is dated. We have our opening page. This planner belongs to a room for your handles, your website, and your mantra. And then down here has the little information. Here is an opening message from Amy with some information about the planner. Says go after the life you want, which is her mantra or whatever, her business situation. And it looks like the planner, I didn't even notice this when I glanced at it. The planner is numbered, which I actually think is kind of cool. You don't really see that in planners. You do it for bullet journals, but you don't really see that in planners. And so that's an interesting addition. You have the 2020 calendar, the 2021 calendar, the 2022 calendar. Now, the color scheme in this that I'm already seeing, it's basically like a grayish, a grayish with a darker kind of mauvey brown. I think it's a really pretty, really, really pretty color scheme. It's very neutral, but not black and white neutral, but neutral as in if you were going to buy a neutral eyeshadow palette. That's what it reminds me of. So if I was going to use this as my main planner, I would probably not be in love with the color scheme, but if I wanted to use this for just morning routines or for something specific where I wasn't going to sticker the fuck out of it, then yeah, this color scheme is very mellow to me, and I'm gravitating towards pinks a lot for next year, just saying. So on this page, you have your goals: health, spiritual, career, and relationships, and what is your why, and there's a dot grid for you. I should also mention from the original planner that she meant this to be a planner to go with to help you improve upon and really nail down and really lean into your morning routine, because that was what her book was about. I'm adding that up front because I talked about it with the other planner as well. Important dates 2020, important dates 2021. It gives you several lines under each month. And then you get into your monthly spreads. This is September 2020. It's already happened. Glancing through this guy, just out of curiosity, the why section is a lot bigger. You have the why section and the goals section on separate pages. I feel like there's a little bit of changing in how this, not just in terms of how this planner is designed, but how it's laid out. Your monthly calendar, it's lined, which I think is something actually a lot of people look for. You have a notes section. It's a Monday start, and it does have some holidays on it. It does not have the Jewish holidays. It looks like it just has U.S. bank holidays, maybe? I'm not sure. All right. You guys know that I I'm a proponent of no holidays in planners. And then you open it up. It gives you a spot to write down your ideas for movement, mindfulness, and mastery, which are her 3 like pillars of a good morning routine. A little bit of blank dot grid space, room for events and birthdays, people to reach out to, currently reading, watching, planning, and learning. And then September goals for health, spiritual, career, and relationships. And then you have a timeline map where you can map out your daily routines in both the morning and the evening to kind of plan what you want those routines to look like for the next month. And then this is the weekly spread, which again, I feel like is not geared towards being a standard weekly planner, but really being a specific focused planner on your routines. There's a space for weekly reflections. And then every day, the week is also a Monday start. You have movement, mindfulness, and mastery, a wake up time, today's priorities, your bedtime, and then some extra lines. So you could easily use this as a weekly planner, but it feels like it is really geared towards focusing on your morning routine. And then you've got a lot of blank space. It's that like grayish color, but it's a lot of blank space on the sides for decorations or notes or whatever. You have the little calendar here. I take the same issue with like so many planners. And then you have a little bit of those doodles kind of in the background. So there's a little bit of decor here, but it's very, very muted is the name I can give for it. And so we get through the month, and then this brings you to the beginning of October, where you have your next month. It's the same monthly spread. You're checking in with your goals. You can revise your routines. You revise your movement mastery and all that. And then it just gets you into the next month. It doesn't look like there's quarterly anything here, but it does give you some space for 2020 reflections at the end of December. And they cut December off at 31 to give you your 2020 reflections. 2021, January goals, blah, 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 blah. Here's your January stuff. So it looks like they just rearranged the pages so that you can kick January off with the first. I actually kind of like that. Like, it's a little weird to have things out of order when you're looking at the planner like this, but when you're actually in it, I'm sure it's not that big of a deal. But it gives you the opportunity to start January after 21 has started and have December end before you go through all of that. I do feel like it's missing something to kick off the start of the year. I feel like if this was just a yearly planner, then that would already be there. But I don't know if it would be necessary to repeat some of the shit from the very beginning of the planner at the beginning of this when you'd only had like 3 or 4 months in it. But that's kind of a quibble. It just basically repeats itself. One of the things I love is that there is space for like weekly reflections and things like that. But what there isn't is a whole bunch of bogus quotes. Like, there isn't a lot of like inspirational quotes. Because, I would wonder for somebody who wrote a book if they would like decide to sprinkle their own quotes throughout it, or the quotes. Because I know that this top of these pages is a little jank because I kind of fucked it up when I was doing something. I don't remember what I was doing, but I did something. Anyway, I wondered if she would like pepper it with her own personal quotes or whatever, because it's supposed to go with her book, but she didn't. And I actually admire her for that restraint, because you guys know how much I love having random inspirational quotes in my planners. So here's a blank dot grid page at the end of the planner, and then 2021 reflections. This is the end of December 2021. And then a couple of blank pages, and that's the end of your planner. There's no pocket or anything in it. So this paper is interesting. It's not very thick, which leads to the planner also being very slim profiled, which I actually, as somebody who loves a good chonky planner, I kind of like the idea of this planner having a very slender profile. I wonder how this one is. Maybe they condensed a lot of the pages. There's also not any like blank reflection pages at the end of the month like there is in this one. It feels like they kind of condensed this one down, because I feel like this one is slightly less chonky except for the covers. I don't see myself, if I use this, using stickers in it, but what I do enjoy about it is that it is very purposeful. It has like a specific purpose in mind when you use it, but the paper, it's not the greatest paper. It's super thin, and it's kind of glossy and shiny, which makes me wonder, like, let's test it. Let's test it, because I am very curious. This is very shiny paper. I'm going to use, let's see, we have a gel pen. My current obsession is this Pentel Energel Klena in 05. So we have that. I've got somewhere. God, I can't find fucking anything right now. a Pigma Micron 05 for a felt-tipped pen. I've got a ballpoint pen. I'm grabbing a highlighter, one of my mild liners. I've got that one I'm going to use. Coral pink, because that was what was on top. I have a Tombow dual brush pen. So we're going to test all of these out just to see how it is. The paper is very shiny and it's not super thick. It did not have any information, by the way, on the purchase page, by the way. I'm going to use September since I haven't used, I'm using September for this. What am I even doing? Because if I'm thinking about using this for 2020. We'll talk about this in a hot minute here, but all right. So we'll just use kind of the middle of September because that's where it'll show through. If it does, maybe a tiny, tiny bit of smearing. I feel like smearing is the problem you run into with glossier paper. Am I right? Okay, let's take a look. Oh yeah, so the highlighter and the marker bled right through. But the pens didn't. They left that ridging that happens when you have a heavy hand, but they did not bleed at all. There's not even maybe a tiny bit of shadow. No, probably not even very much. The shadowing comes more from the ridging than from the actual pen. But the highlighter shadowed with a little bit of bleed on either end, and the Tombow marker bled through. So this is not a planner I would pummel with your art supplies. I would most definitely treat this as just like a pen-only situation if you were going to use this. So what do I think? Oh, I never talked about the price. Holy shit. Okay, so this original guy was on Amazon for $29.99, and I considered that to be expensive for what you got for this planner. This one is $54.99, and while I consider it to be pricey, I can understand the price a little bit more because I know that it costs money to get hardcover quill-bound planners manufactured, especially when you order in smaller batches, which I know is what she's doing. They're self-publishing this one as opposed to the first one, which they published through Amazon. The price difference between these two is $15. I understand where the price difference came from looking at this. I still think it's a pricey planner, but if you use it for what it's meant for, then I think it could be a valuable planner, but it is pricey. And if you're looking to be a one planner person, or if you're not looking to buy a ton of planners, I just did a video on this, then this may not be for you. I am actually considering using it specifically for a few things next year, but you'll have to stay tuned for that. Anyway, I would love to hear from you guys in the comments below what kinds of planners you'd like me to take a look at. I don't know if I will, but I'm considering doing a goal planning series or a goal planner roundup or something. So especially those. And I know I'm doing something next week that's not actually a planner, but it looks like it's going to be really fun. Anyway, suggestions in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe. Register to vote. Make sure you're checking your registration and voting early if you can. Make a plan for voting. Also wear a mask, stay safe, all those things, and subscribe because I couldn't tell you to do anything without subscribing. And until next time, my dudes, peace out.